My name's Pauline Fleming. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario in Canada. I run a coaching business called Proactive Business Leadership, and I specialize in working with business leaders that want to grow their people, their profits, and their playtime. And they tend to be so hands-on that they've gotten away from leadership, and it's time to step into the role of leadership. Leadership coaching is about the actual communication and relationships. It's not strictly about the senior positions or being in the C-suite. It's about the skill of leadership, which can be tied into executive coaching. However, leadership coaching can go into group coaching, it can go across the board, it can go into high potential leaders, succession planning, you name it. It's not a curriculum where they do step 1 through 10, but there are 10 phases that help them develop and evolve, and I find that all clients have grown through that. And I didn't have that system when I started. I discovered it through working with clients that that's what they were going through, and I captured it, and it gives a more concrete picture for those considering hiring a coach. They can say, oh, what are you going to do with me? Instead of saying, well, I'm going to ask you questions, and then we're going to do a dance, and you're going to grow, and we don't know what that'll look like till we do it. They need something more concrete, so that's something I've learned as a coach. So one of them is developing their leadership blueprint, and it's based on an initial step, which is getting clear on their leadership style. A lot of people think, well, to be a good leader, I need to be like the rest of the people in my organization, or I need to be like a certain person. But they need to first identify what their core values are and what their style is and align with that, because if they're not, then they're not authentic. So a lot of people are looking for an authentic leader. We know that people don't leave their job, they leave their boss. So I'm always looking to help them find what that authenticity is, and then we evolve into turning that into action through a plan, which is the leadership blueprint. A lot of leaders are afraid to do coaching because they think they have to have hours of time to lead and coach their team, and they don't have time for it. They don't have time not to, and it could be an elevator conversation after meetings, and to get into the habit of having 2 to 5 minute coaching sessions, conversations, where they figure out how they can support their people, encourage them to be accountable to the action, and instead of telling their team what to do, they're empowering them, engaging them to discover what they want to do. So using coaching competencies as a leadership style. We all want to deliver value, so we sometimes think of the next best question, or we're in our head, and that's not good coaching. And then we evolve to a formula where this is what I do, then I say this, and I get them to hear. And that's still not the best coaching. And eventually we get to humility, which is to simply step out of the way, listen, and allow the individual to discover their answer. I have a couple that are contractors, and they do cottage construction, and their leadership style, they were trying to be like others around them that they'd seen, and it made it toxic. It created tension for them because it wasn't their style. This eventually also became part of the sales issue of how to boost their sales. They'd do a trade show, they'd get leads, and then how to turn it into customers, because they're all about the relationship. And that's the kind of client I love working with. And the challenge was that it wasn't organized, there was no system, the systems they'd seen just weren't working, so they weren't following through on them. They had resistance. Instead, we got a really core, authentic sales system. It's easy to do follow-up, it's easy to focus, and it's easy to have clients self-select. And they are working with the most amazing clients that respect their style and approach. For example, they'll take a week of holidays in the middle of busy construction season, unheard of in the industry, but with respect from their clients that they haven't gone away and are ignoring them. And they've gone from 6 cottage sales last year to 12 this year. They've doubled their sales because it wasn't about the results and the bottom line, it was about the authenticity and finding their own style.